Hello, my name is Salle and I will present to you a proposal for a new system of risk analysis and decision support for poultry production and poultry health using artificial intelligence. Made under the bid of CNPq and the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Supply, this paper is authored by Professor Dr. Carlos Tadeu Salle. It has been done at the Center for Diagnostics and Research in Avian Pathology, CDPA. The Brazilian production of chicken has reached 13 million tons in 2011, corresponding to a growth of 6.8% in comparison with 2010. With this performance, Brazil is getting closer to China, currently the second world largest producer, only behind the United States. Out of the total national production of chicken, 70% was intended for domestic consumption and 30% for exports. Therefore, the per capita consumption of chicken was 47.4 kilos last year. Our strategy is to use modern and sophisticated tools to meet simple and practical goals, answering questions that the professionals do every day in the field, and with that, to support their decision-making. Among many things, we use artificial intelligence, more specifically, artificial neural networks. Artificial neural networks receive that name due to their operation mode by making an analogy to biological neurons. We have one or more inputs, one output, and a central processing. As the neuron that captures the information by their dendrites, processing the neural body, and transmits to the next neuron through its axon, and so on. This figure shows that the network starts with a very simple structure in their learning, and then hides neurons, making the network more complex, seeking a result. We have developed models of artificial neural networks in the area of poultry production, and now we can predict hatching, mortality, weight, condemnation, among many other variables used daily in the poultry production. In the area of poultry health, we have also used artificial neural networks. Among the works that we carry out, we have the digital analysis of lymphocyte depletion, which measures the integrity of the immune system. We examined bursts of Fabricio and thymus, photographing the histological slide and scanning the image. The pixels obtained are processed by artificial neural networks. The systems classify the depletion scores from 1 to 5. We made its validation in a recent study, where we got 55 slides of bursa and delivered it to 4 professional histologists and to 3 veterinary students to operate in the conventional manner by an optical evaluation and also as proposed by us through the DLD. The results showed that histologists diverged in the rankings, but the results present by DLD were equal, showing that there are repeatability, and the method is objective and not subjective anymore. We also did experiments with intestinal morphology, because the gastrointestinal tract is essential for a productive activity that has weight gain as a goal. A series of experiments was performed seeking the best aspects for their constant monitoring. We have been studying the E. coli and the genes which have association with the pathogenicity, determining the greater or lesser virulence of the samples. Everyone knows the importance of the E. coli in terms of antimicrobial resistance and the relationship existing between resistance bacteria in chicken and in the man. E. coli infections are zoonoses or are very close to it. The international studies more and more are pointing in that direction, with increasing accuracy. An example is what happened in Germany in 2011. E. coli has several virulence factors, adenosines, lymphosines, mechanism of iron acquisition, serum resistance, and toxins, and different genes encoding them. We work with 38 of these genes. There is a difference between the potential or the presence of the gene and its expression. Let's use a simple example. Everyone knows the Barcelona and its virulence factors, especially Messi. Potentially speaking, Barcelona is the best team in the world and can defeat everyone else. However, when he faced the Chelsea won. That is, Barcelona had no opportunity or the factors needed to express their full potential. This relationship, non-linear, is very difficult to establish. In this way, the countryman gets without a practical tool for using precious information, which is the knowledge of the genes associated with virulence and antimicrobial resistance. We developed a system for calculating the pathogenicity index from 0 to 10, which has some unique features. Our system of neural networks to predict the pathogenicity index is accurate. We have over 99% of correct classification and very high sensitivity and specificity rates. Here we have an example of a resistance prediction to antimicrobial enrofloxacin. In the first image, we have a sample sensitivity with 100% probability. In the second image, we have an intermediary sample with 95.7%. In the third is a resistant sample with 96.1% probability. In 2011, we had the opportunity to take our work to the 60th Western Poultry Disease Conference in Sacramento, California, a very important international event. Of the 54 scientific papers presented, 6 were ours, from the CDPA. This is the team that gave the lectures in the USA. Professor Carlos Tadeu Salle and his former oriented, Lucas Moraes, Philippe Salle, and Elizar Camelot. This participation was sponsored by CNPq. Currently, we have conditions to monitor the level of pathogenicity and antimicrobial resistance of our products, reflecting in poultry health and public health. Finally, with the mathematical models for immune response and mycotoxins, different combinations of DLD, index of pathogenicity, and antibiotic resistance to bacteria such E. coli and Salmonella, more intestinal morphology, all this with the proper training of the professionals, we arrive at objective and documented criteria, so there is a reasoned decision. We also have the conditions of regionalize the risk. So, we have different expectations and care for each region according to the risk they present. We can also make that our products be accompanied by a safety seal, a QR code, where the consumer with a smartphone can see all the controls that have been made and all quality systems that accompany the food, from the farm to fork. So today, we are able to understand the damage caused by aflatoxin, assess the immune system through the DLD and serology, following the index of pathogenicity and antimicrobial resistance of E. coli and other bacteria, production management through the artificial neural networks. We have documented procedures and criteria through dissertations, theses, and scientific articles published in books and national and international journals. We can also have a seal of quality that brings together all this information, with effects on poultry health, public health, decision-making in foreign missions, and the expansion and maintenance of markets, the dialogue between public and private sector, marketing, among others. This material is part of what was presented to the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Supply in 2012. It is also part of what was presented to the Gaúcho Poultry Association in Porto Alegre, still in 2012. We still are awaiting a response